Hello and welcome to the Jefferson My Drinks Fantasy Podcast, the pod on a mission to normalise 8-team leagues. I'm Pete McManus and I'm joined by Ian Harrison and Helen Monk. Good evening, lads.
Evening, boys. How's it going? You okay?
We all good? We should, from the off, before we get into the week 2 review and week 3 preview, we should from the off just make it clear that we're recording, due to live circumstances, we're recording on Monday this week. So the Texans haven't lost yet. And the Chargers are yet to beat the Raiders. But I just wanted to flag that. Other than that, I thought it was a brilliant weekend of football.
It was all right.
Few
downs.
I can't concur with that. I mean, it's a win, but if you gave me the choice of being 2-0 with Burrow done until at least December, or 0-2, but we still got Burrow, I'm taking the 0-2.
Yeah, that was. How are you feeling?
There's two ways I'm looking at this, and I'm probably going to flip between these two ways week by week. The first way I'm looking at it is, well, let's just have some fun. Let's support the Bengals. Don't expect too much, and if we win, party time. But let's have some fun watching Jay Browning. The other half of me is like, forget football, forget the Bengals front office. I am done with American football. I can't watch it anymore. So I am in between those.
And when you say forget them, do you mean another word? Is that like that song that came out all those years ago?
Yeah, it was Frankie, wasn't it? Yeah, I had to.
Forget you.
Yeah, I really had to monitor what I was saying there.
Yeah. It was a bit disappointing. It was gutting, really. Do you know what? Funnily enough, yesterday morning, I just finished quarterback, where he's talking about how he doesn't want to be up for comeback player of the year again because that means it'll have gone badly. And I was like, do you know, he's a funny character, Joe Burrow, but he's actually he's sort of, by the end of it, I found myself rooting for him. I want him to do well because he's clearly a talented bloke. And I felt a bit for him when I heard that today.
Yeah, I think from watching quarterback, he just comes across as normal, if not maybe a bit boring.
Yeah.
It wasn't what I expected.
Yeah, I don't think the producers of quarterback were expecting Joe Burrow to be kind of meh on camera.
I just like to go and play the piano. What?
And visit museums and look at fossils.
Yeah. I think that's it. It's just a bit boring. But I think maybe you've got to be a bit boring. Just because you've got to commit yourself to your sport and your trade, haven't you?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd say that all day than a quarterback, that's potentially not boring, always in the news, a la Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
He is not boring, but no one wants him.
Maybe he was boring. That's why, and no ladies wanted him, and that's why he kept making a move on paid help. But maybe we should steer away from that.
Kept on talking about fossils and bones.
So I've had to put social media down because he's not the only quarterback apparently who's going to be missing in week 3.
No, waivers this week are going to be. It's going to be like the Wild West on waivers this week, especially in some of the like Scott Fish. When you are desperate for quarterbacks, Scott Fish waivers are going to be mental. The Rules Mania leagues that Murph runs, they're going to be mental. Any franchise flex frenzies, crazy waivers this week.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. How did your fantasy teams do? All right.
Shocking.
I've started so badly this year. I was last year. I think would I win 8 leagues last year? I'm 0-2 in about at least half this year. And I'm getting beat in our main dynasty one of the 2 main dynasties that we have by a guy that's not won in 17 weeks. So
get in.
I'm just having a shock.
Are you losing to boats?
Yeah, badly.
What boats?
No, I did the stats. I had a good week 1. I had a 61% win rate in all my leagues in week 1. This week, I am currently sitting at a 33% win rate. So I am going through it this week. Do you know when you just in those moves where you just don't want to look at sleeper anymore?
Yeah.
I just can't. And some of the people that I'm losing to as well makes it a lot worse. Fortunately, none of those people are H. I'm battering him.
No, you're not.
Someone must be beating H because he's upset and I'm losing to him at least 2 leagues. So
the only league that I'm against Ian, I'm beating him.
In the JTT JMD redraft.
Oh no, I was on about the that isn't my team.
Oh no, I'm talking about the one that I am winning in.
Oh yeah, no, the Dynasty Demons I'm beating you in, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm getting smashed in that.
Yeah. Yeah, the one that you're beating me in is a team that I picked up because you two picked on someone, so we left the league.
Oh yeah. Rest in peace, buddy Barbarian.
That's what happened. Right, before we go any further, we have to talk about one man this week.
Aubrey, does he have enough? On the way, it is good! That's why they trusted him. Wow. Never a doubt. On to overtime. Wow.
That game was, I had that game on because I've got CD Lamb in a lot of leagues. I've got Prescott in a lot of leagues. So I had that on one TV, that one there. And I had Red Zone on the main TV. And it took the Giants when they, honestly, in their first possession, they burnt about 9 minutes of clock and scored 3 points. And then I think like midway through the second quarter, it was like 6-3. And I was like, this game is terrible. And then in the second half, it just went off. But Brandon Aubrey is just automatic. It amazes me that he's actually missed a kick at some point in his career because they could have gone for more yards. And they were like, the fact that everyone's talking about the fact that, sorry, did I froze? Have I frozen?
Right, you're back.
The fact that like 50-yarders are just getting converted naturally, I think is ridiculous now. But the fact that they got to 64 yards and went, yeah, this is close enough. We'll just settle for a 64-yard field goal. And he absolutely tanks it through. So without any effort whatsoever. I was like, what a player he is.
To be fair, though, he did used to be a football player.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they mentioned that.
No.
This is, and while we're on the subject,
I've seen the stat. Like, why you're on Aubrey? Why you're on Aubrey, mate? I've seen the stat where he's outscored Burrow 2 weeks running. So he should be a first rounder next year.
Well, this was a point I was going to make because I know there's a lot of leagues that don't like kickers, and we've got a thing on it. Like H has got his thing where it's like kickers are people too, and I get that, and I just don't understand. I'm never going to understand the leagues that are like we need to cut them out, and because the only reason you could possibly have is that they're unpredictable or you can't sort of judge the scoring for kickers, and I think Aubrey's a perfect example of actually you can take a kicker like him because you know he's reliable in the same way Justin Tucker used to be, in the same way Harrison Butker went through a period where he was. People take him out and replace them with like extra flex spots, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. In the same game that he scores 20 odd points depending on your scoring format, you've got Wan'Dale Robinson outscoring CD Lamb and George Pickens. So it's not like any other position is more predictable than the kicker position. So that's my kicker.
No, I agree. The volatility with any player is exactly the same. Like everyone can have a bad game and everyone can, put up a dud. But I think the only reason I can think for not having kickers in your team is that you want, and replacing it with a flex, is that you want players that are constantly on the pitch that you can watch and keep an eye out for all the time.
Yeah, okay.
My problem is, though, when it comes to these leagues where it's, like, I don't know, 20, 25 rounds or something like that, I would rather draft Brandon Aubrey over somebody like, I don't know, some bum. Well, no, because Wan'Dale Robinson, he's been good now for a couple of weeks. He had a few weeks last year. I'm talking about players like like, what's the point in you being on my roster kind of players? Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got teams where you've gone, I've only got him because there was a roster spot there. I have one league where I've got Dare Agumbawale, and I'm like, I'm never going to play him, but he's just going to sit there on my roster because he's a roster
never
spot.
know.
In fairness, looking at a lot of my teams this week, there was a lot of players that I am looking at going, what are you doing in my roster?
Yeah.
Like, Derrick Henry, why? What are you doing now, mate?
Paddy Power had a price boost on him and Jamar Chase to score a touchdown, which I piled on. And then Jamar Chase scores dead early. And then the Ravens get the ball on the 1 yard line. And I was like, well, here we go. And then they just, oh no, let's throw it to unnamed wide receiver. No one's just keep throwing it to different people. I was like, why don't you just give it Derrick Henry? They're an odd team, the Ravens. It's like they try and make things more difficult.
Yeah, well, while we're on the Ravens, Mark Andrews is dead. He's done.
Yeah.
Finished completely.
If he can't score while Likely's out, he's got no chance, has he?
No, finished. Which is a shame because I like Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
And he used to be great for fantasy. He's done. So
we're
nailed on to score 2 touchdowns this week.
Well, while we're talking about tight ends might be done, have you enjoyed the first 2 weeks of watching Travis Kelce? So week 1, he takes out one of his own players, and week 2, he basically hands the Eagles an interception in the end zone.
Yeah. I tell you, this is the year now. He's got other things on his mind.
Yeah.
It's not on that. I think Evan Ingram's been poor and is an understatement. I was really excited for Ingram this year.
Games.
It's, tight ends are killers.
Can I take you back to the Cowboys game and play one more bit of audio? Because I've never seen anything like this.
There was 4 fouls on a play. 4 defense, personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 95. Pass interference, defense number 2. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
No way.
Offense number 88. All fouls offset.
I did. Firstly, I learned something yesterday.
It's the offset that gets me. It's the offset that gets me.
Yeah, I didn't know you could offset 3 penalties with 1, and that shouldn't be a thing. A little bit. I know they're trying to clamp down on taunting, and they scored a touchdown anyway, so it didn't make any difference. But a little bit of taunting should not offset, like, having too many men on the field, a pass interference, and blocking the passer all on the same play.
I do love that. It's just they just magically went, you know what? We can't be bothered doing the maths, so let's call it a draw.
The Giants went out
him
yesterday.
down.
Yeah, and it was like they were going to war. It was every play there was a flag flying. It was ridiculous.
It was that. Was it the first offensive?
Didn't they?
Yeah, the first offensive drive, he had 4 penalties back to back. There was I think it was 15-yard penalty for a personal foul, then full start, then a personal foul, then a false start, all on the first drive. Yeah, so that cost them 40 yards in penalties.
If they didn't set a new record yesterday, I'll be surprised. And have you seen who they're playing this week?
Yes,
the Chiefs.
Chiefs, isn't it?
Chiefs.
Flags everywhere.
Yeah. We might as well just start with them lying around the pitch and just point at them randomly.
Yeah.
There's a flag on the play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I said they should have a long run card so you can throw the flag and then just reel it in. You'd have to go and get it, so he's ready for going.
Did you see the flag on the play in the Bengals game, by the way, just whilst we're talking about flags on the play?
No.
That it was a yellow dildo that got launched from the stands.
Oh, yes, for Tim Lee's touchdown.
Yeah, and is it CBN or whatever it is in America saw a yellow dildo being thrown and put the flag thing on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah,
it was brilliant.
CBN? Do you mean
CBN? I don't know.
NBC,
CBS. One of them. CBN. I've mixed the two up, and I don't care. I'm not American. Never been there.
Zach Taylor did pick up that dildo and try and put a shirt on it to put him in the line.
He's playing quarterback. Just talking about us not being American, I've read so much stuff this week about how the East Coast has got to stay up tonight to watch Monday Night Football because it's a 10 o'clock kickoff. I was like, oh, when my alarm goes off at 3 a.m., I'll be really feeling for you on the East Coast of America.
Oh dear.
Oh, how we. I've listened to 2 separate podcasts where they're like, how are we going to get through work on Tuesday? I'm like, oh my God, welcome to our world. Right, just quickly, there's no Fantasy Game Day release yet because obviously it's Monday, so we can only talk about last week. So we'll just quickly review
how
that.
right Pete was.
So Jamar Chase as captain went off for 5,020 yards, a touchdown, God knows how many catches. And so how much money did we win, Ian?
Nothing, because I obviously went and stacked him with Burrow, didn't I? Again, I wasn't far off. I wasn't far off.
That old chestnut. What was it you used to say to me, Ian? If you're not first,
if you're in the money, you're last.
Last, yeah.
Yeah, so Burrow got me 7 points. I had CMC and ETN as my running backs, both scored. Jerry Jeudy got me 9. Olave got me 11. Zach Carbonnet got me 1.
Ooh.
And Jake Tonjes got me 7.1. So other than Carbonnet, I had an okay week. Like Joe Burrow got injured. Can't do anything about that. Just Charbonnet, 15 touches.
You could get an O-line.
What the hell is that? But I missed out on the money by 15 points, which is a different quarterback, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, you can't predict injuries, can you? It was the right thing to do. The rest of your team.
You're going to go with Chase. You got to stack him.
Yeah. The Seahawks backfield is going to be difficult to predict all season, I think. That's not. I've not got a lot of those.
I'm not sure. I feel like it might be a bit easier given what Charbonnet did with the lead this week. 15 touches for 10 yards. He will not be getting that side. He won't be getting that kind of volume again against the Steelers defense that gave up a load of rushing yards in week 1 and let Kenneth Walker get over 100 yards. I think Charbonnet had his chance and it's gone. And we're back to Kenny Walker.
Yeah. Was it the Steelers gave up 182 rushing yards against the Jets and 111 against the Seahawks?
I think
a lot. And
and 105 of them were to Walker.
Yeah.
I've got Charbonnet in a few leagues, and I think he's one of those. He's a really, really good backup. So when Walker inevitably gets injured, because he gets injured all the time, he'll be a great play, but he's difficult. I think he's a bit of a mirage.
Would you play him over Brandon Aubrey? Just saying.
Sorry?
Would you play him over Brandon Aubrey?
No. I'd play Brandon Aubrey.
Because of real people too.
I'd play Brandon Aubrey in every position I could get him in if it had lift sleeper and let me. Stick him in. Mr. Automatic. Right, so we've got no recommendations for game day, but if you want to play, sign up with our code JMDFS and you will get a free week on us. We didn't
when we do sorry Pete, when we do get a recommendation, we will put it on the socials.
Yeah. When we didn't have time to go through all of our listener nightmare selections last week, so we're going to start with the listener nightmare selections this week. So first up, we've got, which one we're going with first?
Give me a sec. Let me get it up. Which is the right one? This is Profesh, isn't it?
If
I got it. There we go.
If you're just listening in your car, you've just missed an absolute treat for me and moving graphics all over the place.
A visual treat there.
Our first one was from Sad Sacks. This one's from Dan Greggs on Sleeper. Wide receivers, Jennings, Pittman, or running back Judkins. Let me give you some numbers from this week. We've got Pittman went 4 of 5 targets, 4 catches, 40 yards. So 8 points in a PPR league. Jennings was targeted 10 times, caught 5 receptions for 89 yards and a touchdown for just short of 20 points. He plays Arizona. Pittman goes to Tennessee. And Judkins made his debut, 10 rushes for 61 yards and 3 catches for 10 yards, giving him just over 10 points. He plays the stout Green Bay defense. What do we think?
Yes. Well, straight away, the fact that you ended that sentence with stout Green Bay defense means it's absolutely not Judkins for me anyway. I don't know how H feels about that.
I like Judkins, but I think it's the workload at the minute. He's on a low workload, so I'm edging out of Judkins at the moment.
Yeah. And then, so if I put it between Jennings and Pittman, I'm going to take Juwan Jennings over Pittman because Josh Downs outperformed only slightly. But I think we're seeing the return of Josh Downs being wide receiver 1 at the Colts. He got 3 more targets, 2 more receptions, 11 more yards. Granted, no one scored. But I think Josh Downs is going to be wide receiver 1 moving forward, even though Pittman did have a really good week 1.
I think Pittman's really struggling going up against cornerback ones as well. So I think he will go up against Snead a little bit more, who's the Tennessee cornerback one. I think he may struggle there because that's it.
You obviously didn't watch the Colts yesterday because we were picking on Pat Surtain all day without any issue whatsoever.
I know. It was surprised that you went there. I know Surtain went down injured, didn't he, after was it the first couple of drives? But it was amazing that you decided, no, we won't go to Moss, we'll go to Surtain over and over. But it also helps when they're constantly going, oh, look, Jonathan Taylor's got the ball again and he's going for another 7 to 10 yards a carry. What did he go for? 160 yards and 50 through the air, Taylor? Something like that?
Yeah, well, he had something like, was it 25 carries? So a ridiculous amount of work, which is great for fantasy and great for anyone in his body. I mean, there's no way he's going to be on anyone's benches, no matter how deep your league is. Even if you're in a 4-man league, he's going to start every week for you now. But I just don't think that. I don't think Daniel Jones even knew where Surtain was. He was just throwing it.
Indiana Jones.
I love that, by the way.
Which is a great nickname.
Yeah. So
brilliant.
I'm saying Jennings for this one. I don't know about you guys.
I really want to go Pittman, but I think what we saw yesterday, the game plan A is to give Jonathan Taylor the ball, and if that doesn't work, which we had a little bit of issues with, well, not necessarily issues against the Dolphins, but he wasn't running as well against the Dolphins. Got knocked out at one point, so I think if the plan works where they give it to Jonathan Taylor, there's just not enough. There's not enough volume to go around between Pittman, Downs, and Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren started with the most yards as a tight end through 2 weeks. So he's obviously probably the number 1 target. Whereas I thought Ricky Pearsall was going to have a really big game yesterday, and Juwan Jennings has come back from injury and just gone straight in there and outperformed him. So I'm with you, Ian. I'm leaning Juwan Jennings.
I think I'd take Pittman. I think just on your point there, Pete, about the Jonathan Taylor games, it's Tennessee have got a really good front 2 inside with T'Vondre Sweat, and I can't think of the other one off the top of my head, but he was all pro not so long ago. I think it could be a game where Dan Jones has to throw the ball. So I would lean more towards Pittman because we're still not sure on whether Purdy will be back. The rumours are he's probably missing again. And I don't trust Mac Jones. This is like 5 years ago talk, but I trust Dan Jones more than Mac Jones at this point. So,
oh, God. Yeah, what year is it?
Just going around in a circle.
Yeah, so for me, I'm edging just towards Pittman. I think Pittman will have a slightly better game than Jennings, but I mean, realistically, the wild card is Judkins is going to massively up his workload this week because he's got a full week of training, and there's a reason people were drafting him in the first round of rookie drafts. But I would lean Pittman over the other two.
Fair enough. So he split us 2-1. So if you are listening and once the socials have gone out, please put your votes in.
Yeah. While Ian finds the next graphic,
I've got that ready, mate, but go on.
I was just going to say, as the Packers have shut down Jahmyr Gibbs and the Washington Commanders in the last 2 weeks, I'm not having that Judd Kids is going to go out and put up 100 yards. So
I didn't say that. I think his workload will go up, but I don't think he's the way that the Packers have performed. In my opinion, they've been a lot better than I expected them to be. Even with Parsons coming in, I still thought that they were maybe a little light defensively, but they've not. They've been amazing. Forrest, no, it's not Buckner. I can't think of the other Tennessee player. It's going to drive me mad. I'm going to have to Google it. Go on, Ian, get the next graphic up whilst I search for it.
Definitely not Buckner.
No, he's your boy, isn't he?
Brilliant.
Oh, Ian.
So this was from Sad Sacks, also on Sleeper. Both members of one of our leagues on there. Mahomes against Jaden Daniels, and when he sent this through, I was like, "This is easy." Like Jaden Daniels just has a higher floor, but with not even rumors, there's potentially might not play, which would make this very easy. But if he does play with a sprained knee, does that? I think that changes things a little bit. So let me give you the stats from this week. Mahomes was 16 of 29 for 187, a touchdown and an interception caused by Travis Kelce. 7 for 66 and a touchdown on the ground. Jaden Daniels was 24 of 42 for 202 through the air and only 17 yards on 7 carries on the ground.
So I'll start this one.
Yeah, go on, Ian.
Because I'll just get it out of the way. If Daniels is fit, play Daniels. I don't think it's. I think it's a no-brainer. If Jaden Daniels is fit, play Jaden Daniels. However, the rumors are he is likely to be out. Therefore, Patrick Mahomes comes in or have a look at your waiver wire and pick up Mariota or Wentz if you don't trust Patrick Mahomes. But I personally think if Jaden Daniels is fit, he's done enough for you to be able to trust him, even with an injury. So I would go Daniels.
Ian?
So, are you advocating picking someone up on the waiver wire like Mariota rather than put Mahomes in?
No. I play Mahomes.
Not be doing.
No, I'd play Mahomes over over anyone there. But for me, I just think Daniels is, even with his injuries, he is a X factor, especially in fantasy football. And yeah, even if he has an injury, I still see him stupidly rushing for first downs to try and make plays and stuff like that. And I think the rushing side of Daniels is a big factor. But I just think Jaden Daniels is a stud. I didn't think he was the best one of the college quarterbacks when they came out, but he's proven it in the NFL that he is a superstar, and I would just keep rolling with him because I think with the Chiefs at the minute, I know they're playing the Giants, but the Giants front line isn't bad with the players that they've got. Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, they've got Brian Burns. It's a good pass rush that can get potentially to Mahomes, but I just think Daniels is just too good of a player to not play.
Right. So my counter argument, and I'm going to have to be quick with this. So my counter argument is if Jaden Daniels got a sprained knee, firstly, the Commanders have got no one at running back at the minute. Ja'Cory Crosby, Bill Crosby Merritt, he might be great. He's not ready. Okay, they've got no one else because Eckler's finished. Whether they go out in free agency and pick someone up or trade for someone now, and bring someone else in, they're not going to be ready for this weekend. So the Washington Commanders won't be able to establish the run game, which means that Jaden Daniels either is the run game with a sprained knee, which won't go well, or they're going to have to go air raid. If he's throwing, doesn't matter which knee it is, if it's his plant knee or his lead knee, his throws are going to be underpowered or they're going to be flighty. If they're playing against a D that know he's going to be throwing it all the time, they are going to play soft zone, maybe even more soft zone, maybe going to cover 2, cover 3, and pick him off. This is the week, and I can't believe I'm saying it, this is the week where you play Mahomes.
Most teams play cover 2, though. Most teams play a shell cover against any team. And you said that Koskinen isn't ready. His first game, he was ready. His first game, he put up 14 fantasy points. He played quite well. Like, it could be that there's probably a little bit more opportunity.
He did that as a 1-2 backfield. I don't think he's ready to be a workhorse.
You only find out by putting him in.
I agree.
With
I agree with you. I play Mahomes. I've got Daniels, and I will be looking for other options if he's got a dodgy knee.
That's fair enough. And defensive player is Jeffrey Simmons. That's the one that I couldn't remember.
If we can't teach you to give like 30-second answers to these nightmare selections, you're gonna have to have your own little show. We
don't ask for my opinion then, and then ask me to go back to it.
I didn't ask you to go back to it. I don't know why Ian did.
I just queried using someone off like Mariota over Mahomes because I'm not having that.
No, I was never going to do that, but I just think. Yeah.
You know what? At some point in the next few weeks, we might do a special bonus episode where we just get a load of selection nightmares and just do like 5 or 6. It'll take us on the basis of that. It'll take us an hour and a half, but we'll just go through them in great detail. Right, moving on to players we are looking forward to watching or ones to keep an eye on this week. Anyone want to throw out a name?
I will, because it's relevant to H, and this is without the game tonight. But next week, or this week coming, should I say, I'm interested in seeing CJ Stroud. And it could be an interesting match. So the Texans O-line is currently the only one worse than the Bengals. And the Bengals took a battering from the boys up front for the Jags. So to see him...
Which apparently, to quote you last week, there's no one on that D-line.
Did we win? They got dealt with. Your O-line.
Yeah, and your franchise quarterback's injured from taking hits.
Yeah.
You can say they got dealt with.
Why? The reason I want to see CJ Stroud is that Texans haven't really established who's going to be running the backfield there in terms of running with the ball. Is it going to be Chubb? Is it going to be someone else? I think a lot is going to be resting on Stroud's shoulders next week against the Jags D that just lost to Jake Browning. So everyone's waiting to see which version of Stroud is the real one. Is it his rookie version? Or is it last year? Or is it somewhere in between? Is it somewhere worse? I think the game against the Jags this coming week could define which way Stroud's career, which way his trajectory is going.
Big game. 0-2 against the Jags. That is a big game. Two games back from the Indianapolis never punts. So, we haven't even talked about Ian's prediction for the Colts already being wrong 10 days into the season. So what was that? How many games are we going to
win? 1.
Yeah. I'm one of the reasons I'm getting up tonight to watch. Well, I'm going to get up late and then catch up on the Texans game and then watch the Chargers game. Because getting up for 6 hours of football in the middle of the night, it's not really getting up; it's just staying up. But I'm quite looking forward to seeing how CJ Stroud plays. You don't often get a chance to just sit and watch the Texans. You're not in prime time that often, are you? So be interesting to see how he does tonight and then take that into the weekend. Do you know what? I wrote down Caleb Williams, and I know we mentioned Caleb Williams last week because you brought him up. But they get the Cowboys this week, and Russell Wilson has just thrown for 400 and something yards against the Cowboys. And I kind of feel like Caleb's been putting up decent numbers whilst getting absolutely blown out, or they didn't get blown out against the Vikings, but once the Vikings got going, it wasn't good. And then they got blown out against the Lions. I really want to see if he can, the third week in, if they can pull it together, because I feel like sooner or later he's going to have to put out a performance and they need a win, or the pressure's really going to start building.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, 2 weeks in a row he's outscored his projected for fantasy, which, if anyone bothers about projections, then you'd be buzzing about that. But he's currently QB11 through 2 games. Admittedly, there's 2 games still to play. But his level of performance, if he can just get a couple more points on the board, is going to be mega fantasy relevant going forward.
Yeah, definitely.
Not in any of my teams, but some people will want him, yeah.
H, anyone you're enjoying watching?
I've got Michael Penix this week versus Panthers, because I think it's a matchup where the Panthers defense is just terrible. They've given up over 300 yards in both games, and they paid the big corner JC Horn a load of money, and it's just not worked out. And I think Penix and the Falcons, they played really well last night. We quite enjoyed watching the bits that I did. I think that they could really they could make a bit of a statement with that game. So I kind of like Penix in that game. I also think Penix is starting to look quite a good quarterback for a lefty.
I agree with that. I do like Penix, to be fair.
They didn't have to do much last night, which isn't on him. Like, the defense played really well and the Vikings played terrible, so he didn't have to do much because Bijan Robinson was doing most of it. But he did the bits he had to do. He did. So yeah. You can't have a go at him in a win. Anyone else before we move on to tight end?
I've got a running back that I want to mention.
Yeah, I've also got a running back. So you go H. Maybe we've got the same one.
I've got the Scat Man, Cam Scatterby. I know he's going up against the Chiefs, but in his just week 2 of the NFL, he outrushed Tracy, who was the RB1 to start the year. He's also a really good 3-down back. So there was I know that it was a big scoring game against the Cowboys, but he did get a lot of targets. I think he got 5 targets. A couple of them are those targets where it's thrown out of the ground, but because he was the closest man, it was him. But I think he could build on what he did this week. I think he's somebody that I'm quite interested to see how he develops, especially considering I've put quite a lot of draft stock in him. So the better he develops, the quicker, the better it is for me, really.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tracy might be done. Someone else is done, in my opinion, is Aaron Jones, and that's why Jordan Mason is my running back to watch this week. This week, he had double the touches of Aaron Jones. He's only 12 to Aaron Jones' 6, but it's a very clear indication that times have changed at the Vikings, and the Jordan Mason might be running back 1 over there. Since I actually did my prep for this and picked Jordan Mason, things have changed. J.J. McCarthy is out.
So is Aaron Jones.
Did not know that. Definitely watch Jordan Mason.
that makes that quicker.
Yeah.
Well, while we're on the subject of running backs, just before we do your tight end, do you think it's ready time for me to cut Caleb Johnson?
Yeah, I think
it's going to take him a long time to recover from that.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking non-dynasty leagues. So this is
yeah,
just
I've got him. I think if you remember back to the who do you own the most of, it was Caleb Johnson, running back.
Yeah, you cut your ties now because it's a long way back from that. That's basics. And Jalen Warren's smashing it as well, to be fair.
Yeah, he's playing quite well.
Right, Ian, tight end. Last week you went with Tyler Warren, who was 4 of 7 for 79 yards.
Yeah,
So that's a good shout.
Wasn't a terrible shout. You know, it's tied 5th in targets for tight ends this week, so it's okay.
We've not had any mega tight end performances yet. The best tight end performance of the week seems to be 13, 14 points. We've not had like a...
Ferguson got 26 points this week, and Zach Ertz got 18.
Tucker Craft got 24.
Oh, I forgot about Tucker Craft. All right, I take that back. Tyler Warren is a terrible shout, Ian. I don't know where you got that from. Just trying to big up my man on the podcast, but no. So...
There you are. Jake Ferguson actually got 16.8 points last weekend against the Giants.
In the one that I'm in, it's tight end premium. Sorry, my bad.
So that's fair enough. The reason I'm picking Jake Ferguson this week is there's a bit of disparity between his targets and his scoring. So he's averaging 9 targets a game, which is second in the NFL, but 12 points per game fantasy scoring, which is 8th. So there's a big gap between the volume he's getting and the scoring he's doing. And at some point, the scoring he's doing is going to catch up with that volume. And I think it's going to be this week.
Okay. I like it. Is he going to come up later on?
Nope. For what? For scoring?
Like just committed to him scoring a touchdown, so...
I know, but I've gone tight ends twice in our treble list, and both times they've not come in, so I'm going elsewhere.
Okay. Who we got a kicker? So last week, your kicker was Cam Little. It was a bit of a Tyler Warren performance. 2 for 2. One was 47 yards. The other one was a chip shot. And I'm 4 for 4 on extra points because the Bengals just let them score touchdowns on them. So not a bad week as well. Not a bad week for Cam Little. Who are you going with this week?
I've gone with the big game right at the end of the week, and I've gone with Tyler Loop. So I think it's a huge game, this one, for both sides. Obviously, because it's week 3 and everything matters week 3. But it's going up against a really good Lions team, in my opinion, whose offense really clicked this week. He's currently ranked 7 for fantasy. He did miss one kick this week, but other than that, he's looked really solid, and I think it could be a really high-scoring game, and it's going to be one of them where kicks could be important again, which is what I look for when I do my kickers, because Pete drafts Brandon Aubrey in the 9th round, so that you have to kind of go to this situation.
Sometimes that works. It seems crazy at the time, but when he's banging in 64-yarders to take the game into overtime just so he can do another kick, then it's all good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got him and Jamar Chase on a couple of teams, and I'm going to lose those games. And I'm like, how have you managed that? There you go. Right, let's talk defense. So last week I went with the Steelers, who ended up with a paltry 5 points, which ironically is the same amount that the Cardinals got the week before. So I'm very good at picking defenses that don't completely blow up, but aren't particularly doing anything exciting for you. I thought the Steelers would be better. They weren't. They gave up 395 total yards. They did have 2 sacks and 2 interceptions. So, maybe they'll be, maybe they should have done a little bit better, but yeah, they were giving up too many yards. Have you deleted my, I haven't got the graphic. So this week we're going with, God, Ian's just made the face as if to go, I've deleted that.
No, I've not. No, I've not deleted it.
We don't need the graphic. It's fine. We'll go with this week. We're going with the Seahawks. So, picking that game. I think the Seahawks have looked pretty good on defense. They picked Rodgers off twice yesterday. They should have had a third. It was right at him. I don't know how he managed to not catch it. They also didn't get the points for the Caleb Johnson play, so I don't really understand how that worked. But I think the Seahawks, they are facing the Saints at home, so they're going back home. The Saints are traveling. Rattler's not thrown an interception. He's not played that badly, but this is the first time he's had to leave New Orleans this season, and I think that's a difficult place to go and play on Sunday. So I think the Seahawks are in for a good week.
Yeah, fair enough. Like that.
Primetime preview. So this week it's a 9-4 split for anybody who cares on Red Zone. I'm more than happy with. I'm okay with that. So that's 9 games in the early slate, 4 games later on. Before we get to that, we've got Thursday night football. Dolphins at Bills. It's minus 12.5 points for the Bills. Dolphins showed a little bit more this week, but I don't think they've got enough to trouble the Bills.
Did you see the Tyreek Hill thing? Sorry, and I know this is slightly off topic. Where Tua overthrew Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill started jumping around in circles and then comes out of the game and essentially signals, I'm not playing with that anymore. I think he ended up going back into the game after being calmed down by, I don't know, he probably got a cuddly teddy or something like that to beat up. But he went back in. I was just like, you're literally mid-game. Like, you were having a decent game as well. I think he was on like 50 yards at that point. I was just like, oh, sometimes you just have to cut ties with certain players. And I think for me, it's the right time for the Dolphins just to get rid of him.
Tyreek Hill does this about twice a season. Dolphins have had so many opportunities to cut ties with him.
It just feels like it's the end of the relationship now. Like, he's openly come out and criticised like so many players. He came out and criticised the running back the other week, Achan, because he's not big enough to go through a 3rd and 1 situation. It feels like he just get out, just get rid of him. You're 0-2. You've looked pretty bad so far this year. Just get rid of him. Oh, the Chiefs will take him, won't they? Chiefs and their wide receiver room at the minute. It's like criminals are us.
They're at the point with Tyreek Hill now where what they'll get for him is not worth letting him go for.
Yeah, but to get rid of his contract, it's worth getting rid of.
If they let him go, that's the Dolphins tanking.
I might be back in on Jalen Waddle if they let Tyreek Hill go.
Yeah.
Pete, you were never out on Jalen Waddle. Let's not kid yourself.
I had a really good selection nightmare this week, but you'll never know now, will you? So you'll never know who it was.
It was Jalen Waddle again.
He might have featured in it, but I
think Jaden Reed.
It would have got you questioning. I have a real issue with one team's wide receiver room, but I'll save that for another episode. So I'm guessing we don't fancy the Dolphins on Thursday night then?
Not even slightly.
Do you fancy them to cover the 12.5?
No.
No.
Would you start any of their fantasy assets?
Achan for dump-offs.
Yeah, Achan got a ridiculous amount of targets and touches this week. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupid.
He got 20 odd or something like that.
I think he got 28 points.
Would you start Tua in a superflex?
No.
10 team superflex.
I wouldn't start Tua in a 12-team superflex where I've not got option. Tua's just not a very good fantasy quarterback.
Just a very good quarterback. But Achan got 11 carries and 10 targets. So I would definitely. I mean, they're going to have to throw it to somewhere.
Tua or Carson Wentz?
Tua.
H.
I think where Carson Wentz is. I know the Vikings, isn't he? Ooh, no, the Vikings have got some. Oh no, because Addison's still out, isn't he? It'd be Hawkinson and Jefferson.
Against the Bengals D, no chance.
Yeah, that is why I'm considering it. It's like a turnstile still. The
D's been actually pretty good, surprisingly good.
The first 2 drives against the Jags, they were terrible.
Yeah, we're slow to start, but we're tighten up.
Yeah.
I'll ask Ian. Tua or Browning?
It's the receivers. The receivers makes a massive difference.
Browning.
Okay.
I think the receivers make a huge difference when you know you've got targets. I'm not confident in Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle anymore. I know you are, Pete, but in one of them, you hate the other more than I do. But I just think it makes a massive difference.
Browning's record is actually pretty good. He's got a better than 50% win record.
Yeah, but he also throws a hell of a lot of picks.
Well,
what was it? 3 picks yesterday?
2.
2. And 1 was on the flag.
Only 2.
Who's Tua?
No, Browning. Wait, to be fair, didn't Tua threw 2 picks, didn't he? Or was it 1?
No, he threw 1 pick, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 315 yards.
Yeah.
What was his in fantasy?
What was his week 1 though? That was about 7.
His week 1 was terrible, but so was Joe Burrow. So,
mate, Joe Burrow's getting dropped from my redraft league.
In fact, Tua was that good this week. He scored more points than Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen combined in our league.
Yeah.
You just said you can't start him. I bet the people who've got Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen would have rather started him.
Anyway. I've got Josh Allen, and I still would have started him. At no point would I even debate, should I start Tua over Josh Allen?
No, but if I told you he was going to get 22 and Josh Allen was only going to get 11, which one would you start?
I wouldn't believe you. That's the problem.
Right, let's move on. We don't think the Bills are going to struggle against the Dolphins.
No.
Just quickly, our games on Sunday afternoon. Bengals at Vikings. How you feeling, Ian?
I think I'd be happier if JJ McCarthy was still playing and not Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz, there's a bit more about him, lots more experience. He's played in some pretty big games himself.
Could be hard to watch that game.
I think it's going to be a terrible game to watch, if I'm completely honest. I don't think we'll be seeing on Red Zone much.
No.
Can't wait for it to be a 49-50 game.
If it's to us, I don't mind.
Texans at Jags must win. 0-2.
I'm confident. I am. I don't.
Big game.
I'm confident against everyone in our division. To be honest, I know, Taylor's playing really well for you, but our division's awful, and it's the best of the worst, and I think we are the best of the worst.
So, by many metrics, Brian Thomas Jr. had his worst game as a Jag on Sunday, and what I find interesting is the bit I read is that Cohen said he's got a problem with a wrist issue, which might have caused the problem. So, but there is also a video of him telling Trevor Lawrence to throw the ball to him a bit more often. So it's like,
well, he wasn't just telling Trevor Lawrence, was he?
If he's got a wrist injury and that's affecting his ability to catch the ball, because Trevor Lawrence, he literally hit him at one point and he still didn't catch it. So why are you telling him to throw? If he can't catch the ball, why are you telling him to throw it to him more often? That doesn't make sense.
But if you know a receiver's got a wrist injury, you just don't target him. It's 12 targets he got.
Yeah.
To be fair to Lawrence, he has had an incredible amount of drops from wide receivers in the last 2 years.
Because he can't throw a spiral.
Well, there was the one in the end zone on Sunday, wasn't there?
It was just terrible, mate.
I don't.
RD just destroyed him.
Right, and Indiana Jones is going to go into Tennessee and destroy them. So that's not going to be. That doesn't really need discussing. So that's 3-0 for the Colts through 3 weeks. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs at Giants. This is not worth staying up for.
No, it probably isn't. But it's got to be the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Can we just go back to the Chiefs-Eagles last night or Sunday night, depending on when you're listening to this? I know, like, the majority of people wanted the Eagles to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and probably wanted the Eagles to beat the Chiefs yesterday because people still don't like the Chiefs. But I've firmly reached the point, having watched the whole of the Eagles' first game and most of the Eagles' game in week 2, they are really dull to watch. They're a boring team. I've got no interest in the Eagles whatsoever.
That wasn't what I was thinking was going to happen there. I thought you were going to have a moan about the tush push where they're all offside on every single tush push so far this year.
But they call the Bengals on that, though.
I know.
It builds into my boredom around them. I'm just like, they're just not exciting to watch. Saquon Barkley breaks off the odd 40. He breaks off the odd exploit. And I'm just like, this is just dull. It's just dull.
I do agree. I do agree with you. However, my counter argument is, when have the Chiefs ever been exciting?
Well, a while ago, but this is my point.
I disagree with that. The Chiefs have been good to watch.
Last year,
they've not.
Last year they were dull. This year they are just as dull, if not worse.
Yeah, no. Last year they were terrible, but to watch. But you can't say they've been dull for a long time. Like they were amazing for a few years. So.
It's been a while.
All right.
Yeah.
Gained.
So the Chiefs are 5.5 points favourites. Are they going to get a win?
They're going to get a win. It might not be by 5.5 though.
No, the Giants aren't afraid to throw the ball around.
No, Daboll will sling it, and Russ will sling it. He gave up one of the dumbest interceptions last night I've ever seen. No.
The one at the end where he just throws it up and it's like
he just launched it. He just prayed.
Let's hope someone's over there. To be fair, he did that for a touchdown, but he just happened to drop right in Wan'Dale Robinson's basket, where I was like, "That's a sack," and then he goes, "No, I'm just going to launch it," and then Robinson collects it.
I think that's Russell Wilson, though. If you give him enough opportunities to throw a ball, eventually he's going to do something stupid. So
it's true. True.
You've got to take him out before that happens. The thing that would worry me is the Giants. That, like we already talked about, the amount of penalties they had thrown on them yesterday. If you do that against the Chiefs, you're going to lose comfortably. So that's a bit of an issue for them. And then finally, Monday Night Football, Lions at Ravens. I know Ravens are at home, but I was surprised to see that the Ravens are a 6-point favorite going into this on Monday night.
Yeah, that is a lot. I mean, I do think the Ravens will win, but 6 points is quite substantial.
That's got a really good game.
That's going to be I think that's going to be a great game. I just don't see the Lions matching them.
That's the typical. I mean, I'm sure some people have got better staying power than me, but this is 1 week where I look at it and then I've come to the conclusion I can't do Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football. I have to pick one, and this is the easiest decision I will make all season. So I will happily watch Chiefs and Giants in 40 on Monday morning, and then stay up for that on Monday night. But I think I'll be back in. I know what you're saying. I think the Ravens will win, but I'll be back in Lions +6. I think that's the bet there. Just quickly, our touchdown treble. Javonte scored. Well done, H. Tonjes didn't.
No, the other one did.
Some other guy did. Nico Collins, as of the time we taped, is still to play, so he will no doubt score later on, and it will be 2/3 of the way there. Quickly, who are we going for this week?
Jacoby Myers versus the Commanders.
Okay. Like it.
I just like the matchup there. So, yeah, Jacoby.
Fair enough. I'm going Isaiah Pacheco.
Pacheco against the Giants.
Yeah, ranked last against running backs. I think this is he's had 2 weeks where he's done nothing. I think this is the return of prime Pacheco.
So I am going with the Bears-Cowboys game. I think as I've already talked about, I think Caleb Williams has got an opportunity to put up some yards and throw a few touchdowns. And as he's thrown them the last few weeks to Roma Dunze will be in several of my fantasy teams, so he won't score. So I'm going to go with DJ Moore.
I like it.
That's so. If you want the full thought process behind how I ended up at DJ Moore, there it is for you.
I like it.
Anything you'd like to add before we sign off, boys?
Do you want me to tell you about my angry quit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
H quit a fantasy
Quickly.
league.
Yes.
Apparently.
So I will
Get
do
ready
this
to
as quickly as possible.
It's poor form. Before you even tell me the story, it's poor form.
So it was one of the leagues that I won last year. I got asked, would I join this other league to help them out? They needed someone to come in. It was a league everyone plays. It's really like trades bounce around, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, yeah, all right, fair. I'll join it. This week, week 2, I've gone up against, it's a 12-team league, but I've gone up against a guy who started Shador Sanders, who was out, Taysom Hill at tight end, who's on pup, and Jaden Reed, who was also out. And there was one other player, I can't remember who it was, who's also out.
Did you lose?
No, I've smashed it. I've won by 50, 60 points. But
And you thought, I hate winning, so I'm just going to leave.
No, there's 3 other teams that have started players that are out on IR, and it's week 2. And I'm like, I want to play in leagues where it's competitive. I don't want to play against a team where I can't be bothered. I've drafted it. I can't be bothered. So I just like, well, I can't be bothered. If you can't be bothered, I can't be bothered. So I quit.
Is there any money on this league?
No.
Yeah. Well, see, this is why I hate free leagues.
Yeah, I agree.
Free leagues. If you're ever in a free league, just be aware that this can happen because it will go to the bottom of the pile. Especially people that do multiple leagues. Like I've got 18 managed leagues and 20 odd best balls, which no one cares about. But if you've got a free league, that goes right to the bottom of the list, and that is the least of your concerns. So I hate free leagues.
Yeah, I that would be my one bit of advice to anybody listening is there's only 2 types of leagues I play in. Well, 3 if you include charity. But charity leagues, paid for leagues, and when I say paid for, it can be $5. Once somebody puts $5 in something, they've committed to it, and they're more likely. You don't see many people quitting. I suppose if they go 0-8, you might see the end of them, but the team's terrible anyway, so it doesn't matter. It makes no difference to the league. Or you've got to know everybody in it. So, like, we have a bit of money riding on our mates' leagues, but you could take all that money away, and I would still want to win that because I know the other 7 or 9 people in it, and I want to beat them. And that is more important to me than any money or anything else. So you just keep entering these free leagues. It's going to happen, H.
It's not all of my leagues are free. I'm not like that. It's just this one.
That's what happens when you enter these free ones. Like people lose interest.
No, like you said, I said at the beginning that it was poor form before you even started, but I am fully on board with your decision there, H.
Thanks.
Like, it's a free league. People can't, like 4 teams can't be bothered. Why should you?
Yeah.
Go and focus on the leagues that people care about and the ones that you paid for.
I wouldn't have quit it. I would have just not given it much thought.
Done.
And then probably still won it.
This is where Sleeper misses out on the auto. Was it the NFL fantasy does? Where it just put in your highest projected team. The auto select button on the NFL fantasy app. If you can't be bothered, hit auto select and don't do anything else. Sleeper doesn't have that functionality, which it probably should, to be fair.
Yeah, maybe. Right, that's us for week 2/week 3. Good luck in week 3. Good luck tonight, H.
Thanks.
You'll need it.
But good luck. We've got a couple of bets on tonight, so I will be up watching that. And enjoy week 3, and I will catch up with you 2 next week. We'll speak to everyone else. Keep an eye out for the JMD League. If you're in one of the JMD leagues, I will do an update tomorrow, so that will go live later this week as well.